Hello everyone, welcome again to Real Class. My name still remains M.A. and today we are looking at a poem written by Seamus Heaney and it's titled Digging. Digging here is a reference to farming by way of metaphoric use. Alright, the speaker of the poem has his family members as being farmers, particularly his father and grandfather. Okay, but the poet speaker is desirous of leaving that lineage of farming into writing, into literature, and specifically the genre he wants to go into is poetry. Now, the subject matter, therefore, is career as a vision. His family members are known to be into farming of potatoes. And each time he flashes back to the past, he remembers, he pictures his father in his potato farm, and he remembers his father or his grandfather anytime he was trying to gather some things to create fuel. In this sense, we picture rural setting, which makes us have the belief that the poem has a pastoral setting. He praises his father, praises his grandfather for their, industrious attitude towards whatever they did in the past in the area of potato farming. But be that as it may, he says that he has deviated from that area of life into poetic working, if I may use that language. Thus, he says, between my finger and, of course, my thumb, the squat pen has now rested, where he will now dig with it instead of digging with shovel, instead of digging with spade, instead of digging with cutlass, instead of digging with whatever tools. He's now going to dig with his what? Pen. Okay, so we can now say that the poem has an element of mourning tune, an element of celebration. The mourning tune is the fact that he has jettisoned what his father or his parents have been doing with preference to his own new life, and his new life is his poetic life, which is the fact that he's now going to dig with his pen. All right, so it has elements of celebration and it has elements of lamentation for the fact that he has jettisoned what his parents have been doing. So the poem is a shift from what they have been known for, which is farming, into literature, which is writing. So in our next class, we are going to be looking at the themes and of course the rhetorical devices or figure of speech embedded therein. Alright, welcome back to Real Class. Now we are looking at the themes of Seamus Heaney's poem Digging, an non-African poem that is specifically about vision of the speaker, which is writing of poems, deviating from tradition, which is farming in his family lineage. Now the first theme is hard work. His family members are known to be highly industrious. Alright? They are very diligent in what they do. Their doings and their goings. Little wonder, his father is a farmer. He's known for potato farming, and his father also is known to gather some things together to produce fuel in a rural setting, making the poem quite pastoral. Then we look at farming as a source of joy. Farming appears to give the family members joy. They feel highly elated or joyous farming, especially going into potato farming. Alright, but the poet speaker appears to be deviating from that line into writing of literature, specifically poetry. Then we have theme of decisiveness. Although the family members are known to actually go into farming of potatoes, they are known to be farmers of potatoes, okay? But the speaker here has taken the decision to jettison farming of potatoes or any form of farming into his own digging, which is poetic digging. That's writing of poetry. So in that sense, he's going to drop anything that has to do with, theme of education. So the poet speaker is desirous of acquiring more education. That's why he has
11:41 a.m.
jettisoned or abandoned farming with preference to writing of poetry. Then let's look at the literary devices deployed in the poem.
Number one is enjambment. As a free verse, the poem actually uses enjambment, which is continuation of a line of poetry to another. And in that case, we have to know that the poem, by structure, is written in 31 lines and of course 8 stanzas. Okay, where one line has to run into the other in all of the stanzas for complete sense or thought to be made. Then we talk about imagery. Imagery has to do with pictorial representation. Farming and writing are things you can actually picture with your mind's eye. All right, so they show a lot of images or imagery as it were in the poem. Then we talk about assonance. What's assonance? Assonance has to do with recurrence of the same vowel sound within poetic lines. How many vowels do we have? As we have 5. A, E, I, O, U. That's A, E, I, O, U. So any of these that have identical sounds within a poetic line gives us what they call assonance. In that case, we have snug as a gun. All right? Yeah, that's dropping this digging as a gun with preference to pen is what they are talking about here. The or there under you makes it function as an assonance. Then pen, rest. Your pen is going to rest. Sound there makes it assonantal. Then we have consonant. We have a difference between consonant and alliteration. In alliteration, for example, we have recurrence of the same consonant sound at the beginning of words, like planted, planter, planted, where PPP appears only at the beginning. But in consonant, we are still going to look at the same consonant sound repeated. But in this case rather, it is not at the beginning that we have, but only within or inside the word and at the end of the words within the poet, like slicing neatly. You see the LL right there. All right, they are found not at the beginning of the word, but strictly at the middle. All right, so in consonants, you have repetition of the same consonant sound at the middle and end of words. Then we talk about symbolism. Digging, of course, symbolizes tradition. What's the tradition of the speaker and his family members? All of them are farmers predominantly. But right now, we are taking the decision to jettison farming with preference to writing a work of literature. So that's why digging as a title is highly symbolic. Then you talk about simile. Of course, no longer think that in simile, use as or like to show comparison. Snot pen rests as a pen. All right? Snot pen rests as a gun, rather. All right? Yes. If your snot pen can rest as a gun, resting this time around is resting on paper. All right? That you are going to continue writing. Yes. So that is the comparison we have there. So in our next class, we are going to look at another point.